Hey guys, how we doing? Just Juicy here, bringing you your Monday content. And today's a little session I've been doing with the boys, a couple of them, just to focus on the hips and try and increase the hip range. But as you'll see, it's not just mobility; we're working around the whole system. So let's dive in. First exercise is the kettlebell behind back hip hinge. And now I really like this one to help groove that hip hinge. And if you can get the hip hinge, then that's going to have carryovers into pretty much every form of hip mobility, glute strength, and hip range. So with the hip hinge, some people will struggle. So to put the kettlebell behind the back, grab it with both hands, and all we're thinking of is the back side to go backwards. Keep your back straight, chin packed, so we're keeping the back in line all the way up to the ears. Okay, so that is the first one, and we're looking at 3 lots of 20. The reps are high because it's non-fatiguing, and we're just trying to really groove that pattern. The next one, banded tall kneeling hip hinge. Similar scenario here, hands behind head, or if you do that and you struggle, keeping your lumbar locked, then hands on hips is absolutely fine. Okay, so we've got the band behind, and all that band's doing is just helping to assist pull you into that hip hinge range. Okay, so as you see here, he's getting quite deep in it, and he's able to keep the ribs down and the lumbar from going into extension. Again, we're looking at 20 reps to really try and help ingrain that pattern. Next one, we're up into the feet now. Now we only go to this one when we've cleared the other two, and in the other two, the hip hinge looks really good because now we're on the feet and the bum to wall hip hinge. Now, the key thing with this is to have a wall behind is a point of reference to take your bum to, basically, because when people struggle with hip hinge, they almost go into a reverse squat, and so they bend the knees forward and the bum doesn't really go anywhere. So with the hip hinge, what we want is the knees not to really move, and we want the bum to go backwards. So that's why we key the wall or the door behind to send the hips shooting back straight away. And when the hips go back, it allows you to keep your spine nice and in line. Again, keep that chin down. So at the bottom there, you see he's got a very nice little line from the backside all the way up to the ear. Okay, and the weight is just almost a countermeasure there. So we don't need to go heavy. As soon as they get this one as well, we know we'll be happy to have them a loaded barbell RDL. So then we move on to some pelvic tilts. We've talked about these before, but again, we want that dissociation. If we struggle with any dissociation between the pelvis and the lumbar, again, guess what? It's going to lock up our range. And you know, Steph talks about the hip internal rotation. We talk about the back foot contact, the hip pre-turn all the time. Absolutely crucial we get that. We take that into standing. So obviously it's easier to do it on the floor. When we do that, we need to get it standing as well. Okay, so just shifting the bum forward and back, really work on that dissociation pattern. It will pay absolute dividends. And then while we're there, we also want to work on the front foot contact, thoracic rotation. So all the time, we've used these before, but again, they're so important. Silly little, well, not silly little exercises, but just simple little exercises, and it just helps so much. I literally, you know, all these things, they're more important than the barbell work. They honestly are, because they're unlocking so much power potential. We don't want to miss out on getting these things done. With this one as well, like to swap both legs. Obviously, we want to do the bowling side first, but don't forget your other side as well. Onto the dead bug squeeze. So what we've got is a little blow up ball. So we use the little Coregeous ball in between the knees. Okay, so what we're doing is squeezing, so the adductors have got to work in that dead bug position, and then each leg we're trying to take out into hip internal rotation. So the great thing about this is the trunk has got to work, and while the trunk's on, it allows more range of internal rotation. Okay, so you're squeezing, keeping the ribs down, and then one leg at a time out into internal rotation. Really great exercise, this one. And then on to the last one, the contralateral dead bug. So in a dead bug position, and to set itself up to start, keep the arms out wide to give you a bit of a base. legs up, and all that we're doing here, one leg at a time, is going out to the side. So we're going for 8 each side. Okay, 8 each side out to the side. Let's have a little look at that again. Looks very simple, but tough. Okay, very tough. So that's the hip session. What I'll do is slide this into your program, and you could almost do this as a warm-up as well. 2-3 times a week, and keep measuring that hip internal rotation and your straight leg raise, and you will see a marked improvement of it, and as well how you're moving in general. Okay, so there it is. Any questions, as always, give me a shout, get on it, and let's move forward. See you later.